Hey guys, in today's video, we're going to talk about an effortless way to create compression. Hey guys, so some exciting news about CogornoGolf.com. We've made some really cool changes. Instead of only 100 videos that we had on there before, we now have over 250 videos on CogornoGolf.com. It's no longer just a video library. We have curated those videos and put courses together to take you through that process just for you guys step by step. All of these videos here, that combined with the extended YouTube versions, not gonna be on YouTube, not gonna be anywhere else, only gonna be on CogornoGolf.com. Check out the link in the description down below. All right guys, let's talk about creating compression and doing it effortlessly. We need to first go over what compression is. Everyone I've ever met in golf, or is coming for a lesson or online lesson or join the site or whatever, wants to hit the ball more solid. If anyone's watching this video and for whatever reason you don't want to hit the ball more solid, you probably should turn this off and watch something different, because that's what we're going to talk about. First things first. How do you hit the ball more solid? What actually is that? We interchange the term compression with hitting it solid. It means the same thing, but there are some fundamental measurable things that create compression. Specifically, there's a thing called spin loft. Okay, woo, spin loft like this. What spin loft means is it's really just the difference. It creates a little thing, there's a little vector, right? It creates its angle of attack, so how much you hit down on the ball, and what your dynamic loft is. So there'll be a difference between the two. It's your dynamic loft, it's kind of weird to do like this, dynamic loft and your compression. It creates a little angle there. The deal is this: the smaller the angle, the more compression. The larger the angle, less compression. That looks super weird. You like this, Mary? Smaller angle, more compression, larger angle, less compression. The deal is this: it's like, why do you not compress a sand wedge like you compress a driver when you really hit it and it feels really good? Think about it, right? A sand wedge you hit way down, so the bottom vector is really small, and you have a ton of loft. It's a huge angle. A driver, only 10 degrees of loft, and you hit level, small angle, okay? The point is this: you can measure compression, okay? We can actually measure it by numbers. Spin loft, difference between your angle of attack and dynamic loft is the biggest thing. What we can control to create compression is dynamic loft. Stick with me through this stuff. Dynamic loft, which means when I have a club, let's say I have an 8-iron and it has a certain amount of loft. If I do everything else in my swing the same speed, same everything else, same angle of attack, and I de-loft the club in my swing, that creates compression and solid contact. I'm going to say that one more time. If I swing the golf club the same, I have an 8-iron. On swing 1, I have a certain amount of loft, normal loft of an 8-iron. On swing 2, I do the same exact thing, but I de-loft the club. That second swing will feel more compressed. It will feel more solid because you took the dynamic loft down. Period. That is it. Everything you do around that is just designed to make that happen. So if I take my setup position here, and I want to take the loft off, the next question is, how does that happen? How do you take the dynamic loft off? But make no mistake, literally, like, think about this for a second. Everything we talk about, setup, backswing, downswing, weight transfer, rotation, wrist angles, whatever, is only designed to get that dynamic loft down. Okay, of course there's low point and other things, club face control, but that's it. In terms of hitting the ball solid, you have to take the loft down. How do you do it? Like anything else in life, you have to start reasonably well. Do you have a better chance of having good dynamic loft if your grip is normal? Of course you do. Do you have a better chance of less dynamic loft if your ball position and tilts are good? Of course. There's a lot of micro movements. What we need to focus on is how your arms and hands work. There's no getting around it. That's how you control the club. So here's my 8-iron. Here's a shaft straight up and down with a normal 8-iron loft, okay? If I push the handle more forward and create shaft lean, does that take loft off or does it add loft? Very clearly, that takes loft off. It lowers the dynamic loft. So if I just said, hey, I need to hit the ball solid by lowering the dynamic loft, How I lower the dynamic loft is by pushing the handle forward, okay? Now, a big thing that I do to push the handle forward is body rotation, but really the main thing at the end of the day is my wrist conditions and my wrist angles, okay? And the effortless part of this, how you can do this no matter who you are, every golfer watching this with a normal grip, a decent-ish setup, if you have good wrist conditions, can hit the ball solid and create compression effortlessly. And we have to focus on the wrist angles. So what can I do to do that? Well, there's two very obvious things I can do. Number one has to do with my left wrist. So here's my left wrist that's slightly cupped, right, at my normal setup position. If I were to flatten this left wrist out and do nothing else, does that create an angle to the shaft? Absolutely it does. Here's my left wrist cupped, shaft straight up and down, no shaft lead, no compression. Here's my left wrist flat. Did that create an angle? Of course. Okay, so that's one. Now, what if I bow my left wrist, not just flat, but I actually bow it? Now, is there more of an angle there? Did the club head go farther behind my hands? Of course it did. So how my left wrist and left hand work, does that control how much shaft lean? Absolutely. The more I bow my left wrist, more shaft lean, more compression. Universally, every golfer watches this, that's true for, okay? The other part is my right hand. Here's my right hand pretty flat. The shaft is straight up and down. Here's my right wrist bent back some. Did that create an angle? Did that get the club head behind my hands? A shaft lean? Of course it did. What if I do it more? Is there more angle? Yes. So now we have two things. If I bow my left wrist, that has a huge angle. I mean, look at that angle. That's huge, huge angle. Now, what if I bend my right wrist? Huge angle. What if I do those together? Huge angle. Lowers the dynamic loft. That's what you need to be focusing on. Part one is creating a left wrist that's flat or bowed, a right wrist that's bent back. Of course, there's drills to do that, but you have to be intentional about it. And when you do it and you hit shots, okay, and you focus on those two and actually accomplish them, what's going to happen is, one, you're going to hit shots like that. You're going to take your loft of your club and lower it and get shaft lean. There's no getting around that fact. There could be 100 different ways to do it, but you have to get your left wrist flat. Now, I always talk to you guys, I like, if you watch my favorite compression drill and other videos, training the delivery phase from here to here. I'm here, hands in my right thigh. By impact, my left wrist is more bowed, and my right wrist is more turned back. Now, you must rotate your arms with it as well. I'm not going here and just holding this thing forever, flying wedge. I am from here going to have some arm rotation. Eric, how do I do that? I take my left hand and I bow it more and I get my arm rotating a little bit more. I take my right hand, it's bent back. I get my palm to the ground, like I'm doing a little like wax on, wax off type of deal. I'm here like this and I'm wax on this way, okay? Right wrist is bent back and I'm rotating. And I combine those two. Of course there's pressure shift still, of course there's rotation, of course everything else is the same, but literally you guys should spend, if you're not hitting the ball solid, you should spend a good amount of your warm-up or practice a range session taking a short iron and going from hip high to hip high with just wrist conditions until you pure the ball. Figure out the direction second. To hit the ball more solid and create compression effortlessly, everyone watching this can do it through wrist angles. You do it from this going this way, and you do it from this going this way. You have to add a little bit of rotation and focus on solid contact first. Focus on solid contact first, and then do the direction second. So that's how you effortlessly create compression. If you guys have any questions, as always, leave a comment down below. Thank you. Hey guys, thanks for watching today's video. If you liked the video, please do me a favor, click the like button, click the notification bell if you haven't. Also, please subscribe. Again, another quick reminder, CogornoGolf.com. Our membership site is up and live. The link is in the description. Thank you guys.